Hi guys, it's the Teen Tutor back again with a maths video. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, make sure you do that because the first one was all about introduction to finance, which it's important. Okay, so now we're going to move to an example which include compounding period. Okay, so this is for specifically grade 11 and grade 12. Grade 10s, you do not do this type of examples. So they say calculate the value of an investment of 15,000 rand after 3 years if the interest rate is 15% per annum compounded monthly. So in my previous video, I talked about different compounding periods. Okay, I've talked about that. And monthly, we've stated that you need to divide interest rate by 12 and you need to multiply the number of years by 12 in that specific formula. Okay, so they said compounded. This just tells us that we're going to use a compound interest formula for both the scenarios for A as well as for B, because they are using the same scenario. It's just that here they say compounded monthly and in B they say compounded quarterly. Okay, so now this is solution. Let's write solution. This is our solution. Okay, so for A, we're going to firstly write the compound interest formula because it is compounded. Okay, compound interest formula. And I've said that a compound interest formula is a complex formula, so it has an exponent. Okay, that's a way to differentiate, or that's a cool way to differentiate between a compound interest formula and a simple interest one. Okay, exponent n. So remember the investment of 15,000 and after 3 years. Okay, so I always underline the most important words, and I would advise you guys to do so. Okay, so they say calculate the value of an investment of 15,000 after 15,000 rand after 3 years. So I went to the bank today. Okay, I go to the bank today. Sorry, I go to the bank today, and then after that, I know I go to the bank today with an amount of 15,000. Okay, and then what is going to be my final amount after 3 years? That is what actually the question is trying to portray. So it's really important to be able to bring each and every scenario into real life. In that way, it's going to be a lot more simple. I'm telling you, for finance, it's going to be really simple if and only if you're able to bring the scenarios into real life. Okay, I have 15,000 now, and then I'm like, no man, with this 15,000, I want to take it to the bank, and after that I want to see the amount of money after 3 years. After 3 years, that means that I'm looking for my accumulated amount. I'm looking for the future amount. Are we good? So that means that we're actually looking for A. Okay, so the P, which is the present value, the amount of money that I have now that I'm going to take to the bank, it is 15,000 rand. So that means that I'm going to write 15,000. And then I'm going to open my bracket. 1 plus my interest rate is 15%. Firstly, convert that 15% into decimal. Okay, so that means that it's going to be 15 divided by 100, which is equals to 0.15. So that 0.15, you have to divide it by 12 because they said monthly. How many months do we have in a year? We have 12 months. So that means that you're going to say 0.15 and you're going to divide it by 12. Simple as that. Okay, every time they say monthly, divide your interest rate by 12 and multiply your number of years by 12. Remember, I and N, you have to do it simultaneously. Okay, and how many number of years is 3, but it's not only 3. I have to multiply it by 12 because I've said that in monthly you need to multiply interest rate. You need to divide interest rate by 12 and multiply the number of years by 12. Okay, so make sure you master these things because they are really important. Okay, so and now you're done. You're actually going to just punch in your calculator and find the answer. So the answer is 23,500, no, 459,710. So the reason why I'm rounding to two decimal places is that in most cases, please don't assume, make sure you read the instructions first. In most cases, they're like rounding to two decimal place. So I hope you'll have understood this question. Okay, no, man, we still have B. Why am I rushing? Why am I rushing? Okay, we still have B. So remember, we're going to use the same formula because it's a compounded. So that means that we're going to use a compound interest formula basically. So that means that I'm gonna write it: A equals to P open bracket 1 plus interest rate close bracket N. Okay, and then my P, which is the present value, is the amount of money which I have now, which I'm going to take to the bank for investment. Okay, and that is 15,000. So that is going to be 15,000. My P is going to be 15,000. Open bracket 1 plus my interest rate. My interest rate is 0.15. 0.15. But because they said compounded quarterly, I have to divide it by 4. Let's go back. Quarterly, you divide interest rate by 4 and you multiply number of years by 4. Simple as that. Just think of it as how many quarters do you have in a loaf of bread, or how many quarters do you have in 12. Say 12 divided by, it's gonna be 3. I don't know how to explain. But how many quarters? Okay, in a year, it's 4. It's 4. I don't know how to put it. It might sound somehow, but for now, just think of it. How many quarters do you have in a loaf of bread? In that way, please don't overthink when it comes to finance. Okay, and then you need to divide it by 4. Open bracket, and then the number of years, it is 3. But it's 3 here. But there's a but. But you need to multiply it by 4, and then after that, you're gonna find your answer. So the answer is going to be 20. Yo, what happened? What happened? Okay, so the answer is 23,331,81. Guys, don't mind my stuttering. The thing is that there is load shedding and I'm trying to I try to tutor, but yeah. So that is the final amount. So it's really important to know and master this compounding period, guys. Nonetheless, make sure you practice and you know all these words annually, semi-annually. Just play with them, okay? So for now, all that I can say is bye and peace.